Hello and welcome back to MoA6. Last quarterfinal between Miguel in his first game in red, playing as the Conquerors, just going for his 4th TC, went for very fast castle 3 TC, added a stable at like 18 minutes or so, and the -3. His opponent, Modri, first game in blue as the Vietnamese, went a little bit later up than the Conquerors, makes sense, but also went for 4 TC boom, has 6 villages, or had 6 villages on gold constantly since like late feudal age or something. Do see siege workshop now getting up, and the barracks. That means Miguel is going to grab all the relics here, and both players are trying to boom up as fast as possible. We are at 91 for Miguel, 93 and 91 for Modri, so that's a 4 villager difference. We have a few light cav on the field, and there is a battering ram and a mangonel. Defensive mangonel for Modri, making sure that this attack is not going unpunished, or at least not undisturbed. And both players are looking into Imperial Age, I guess. Let's find out about Modri. Just clicking up, okay. And we have a lot of resources here for Miguel, who doesn't need any buildings. He just needs a free TC, and he just clicked it. There we go. So it's mainly about Imperial Age. A late forward siege workshop for Miguel, putting a little bit of pressure, and of course Modri now being busy with the mangonel here. I think we've seen Khmer against Vietnamese before, and I'm pretty sure that Khmer won the game. I'm just not sure who played it, but seems to be a little bit of a stronger civilization, but it doesn't mean anything because they seem to be quite close. We have a castle coming up from Modri now, another siege workshop. We do see spearman production, the pikeman upgrade, and I'm just curious to see what the players are going for here. Now for Khmer we expect hussars sometime in the game, so going pikeman halberdier doesn't hurt. And of course Vietnamese can also go for those very strong imperial skirmishers, so you have a good amount of, or a good, how do you call it? Good trash. Let's go like that. Have a good amount of trash units that you can get, and a good quality of trash units. So going for a pikeman, going for the imperial skirmishers later on, that's definitely an option. Siege-wise, I think Vietnamese do get a bombard cannons, onager as possible, siege rams maybe even, or just trebuchets. When you do see the first fight here, 2 castles, one on the left, one on the right. Let me quickly. Oh, that's okay. And it looks like, ooh, Miguel is losing a lot of HP on that castle. Modri is repairing, and Miguel actually lost the castle now. Modri went for onager upgrade. I like this idea. On the left-hand side, no, on the top side, we do see siege rams approaching, so Miguel actually chose to go for that, and there's quick walls coming up, the siege rams going through. Modri may need the, oh yes, already going for fortified walls, and he's going for houses everywhere. The light cav could go in at the same time with 3 trebuchets, hitting another castle from Miguel, which is not looking too good for him. 2 counter traps, the villages are idle, and Miguel is focusing on the top, where now Modri has a lot of halberdiers. Now this attack is not working. Modri actually able to wall this in time or keep it defended, and now Miguel down 2 castles, giving Modri some advantage definitely, because Miguel still is worried, but Modri, for me, with taking on 2 castles, gaining some map control. Hussars moving in are going to try and take down all the trebuchets, a few halberdiers still around, not too many of them actually, and Miguel has a lot of resources in the bank. I would love to see battle defense, but not against pikemen. And heavy scorpions might be a good option. Champions, I'm not quite sure. How good are Khmer champions? Do they even get champions? Arbalest, of course, an option. I think Arbalest might be a good good idea. I think this is skirmishers though for Miguel to counter these halberdiers. So it looks like he wants to go for trash units and maybe siege to use his gold. Modri low on resources, population cap 198, it's going to be 200. And Miguel only on 160, building a few of these archery ranges. But even with the elite skirmishers on the field, there's just too many halberdiers. The skirms might go down. And that one halberdier is actually taking on a trebuchet. This is just ridiculous, but it could be working. And that help is undisputed hero in this match, because look at this, 27, 21, what is it, 15 now, and that trebuchet is going down. Miguel not paying attention. The castles from Modri still alive. On the right hand side we do see a few hussars taking down the siege, these outposts. Double siege workshop coming up, but I think Modri doesn't even care so much right now. Instead he's sending the villagers to the middle. He might want to go with, no, not another castle, he's just repairing the trebuchet here. Onager not really the best choice, I guess, but it doesn't hurt to have them, and they can be quite dangerous later on. So Modri still the Onagers alive, and is that elite right and archers? Wow, this is interesting. Didn't expect that one, but I guess it's a good unit choice, even especially since there is hand cannoneers now on the field for Miguel. Miguel apparently doesn't really know what to do here. Ballista elephants might be another option, might have been another option if Miguel hadn't lost 2 castles already, or even more. I didn't count. That's at least 2. And Modri now with the score lead, safe inside his base when it comes to his economy, and Miguel is trying to move on the outside with all the buildings, but he doesn't have too much army left, and military numbers 13, 14 against 63 now. That's more than triple the army, that's 3.5 times the army for Modri almost. And yeah, Halberd is attacking in that range. Why not, I guess. In these archer ranges we do see elite skirmishers and hand cannons, no arbalest though, and we have, what is that? Is that even cav archer? No, it's more hussars. Stables coming up on the right hand side. Siege rams getting built to prepare a fight, prepare an attack, but we have a few Halberdiers waiting. There's villagers, you can see what is happening on the side, and at the same time we have trebuchet in the middle to start an attack. A lot of more buildings here, so these military buildings might go down really fast. Onagers behind this. Again, they don't really have targets, but the targets might be moving forward soon, because elite skirmishers and hand cannons just die horribly to onagers if you get a good shot in. And there's the siege rams moving forward, but Halberd is taking care of these, and there's not enough support for these siege rams to actually make them work. There's just too many helps, and the hussars alone won't do it. A few barracks coming up on the outside. What a crazy battle already, but Modri, I think, with a better position for himself, and gold-wise, Miguel has 50 militias on gold, 500 gold in the bank. Modri has 22 on gold, almost enough stone for another castle, and I'm just waiting for these elite Rattan archers. Where are they? He did go for them, now he's producing a few. Don't see them on the battlefield yet. Actually, there's a few single ones. 11 attack, 6+1 pierce armor, that could be more, and Modri is actually upgrading them already. And we have the Rattan archers, trebuchets, onagers, and help composition against elite skirmishers, hand cannons, hussars. Not really any siege rams, and it looks like Modri is still better. I don't know if it's the better army composition, but it's the numbers that makes this work, I think. Elite Rattan archers is something, if you can mass them, they're not easy to counter, because look at this, this is 8 pierce armor already, so even elite skirmishers not that strong entirely. I guess hussars are the best counter to these, because only 2 pierce armor, but there's also Halberdiers in the field, so Modri doing good damage, going with another castle more or less in the middle of the map, close to Miguel's base. Halberdiers on the right hand side, where Miguel built, what is that, 4 siege workshops and 3 stables in total. Still has a few siege rams inside. No, it's now scorpions actually. I like this idea. Heavy scorpion, it's a great idea for Khmer. It counters a lot what Modri is doing, except for the onagers, so Modri actually ahead of his time, or ahead of the battle, upgrading the onager and making sure that elite skirmishers, hand cannons, and also heavy scorpions won't really do the best damage ever. Wardings coming up from Modri saying, I want to keep my castles alive for sure, I have the resources, so why shouldn't I go for it? Miguel, a lot of wood in the bank, good amount of gold, but that's it. Modri, a lot of nothing in the bank, but population capped, and that's so important here, because his military numbers, again, 30 more military units for him. Siege rams approaching the left hand side TC, or the top side TC, with a few elite skirmishers behind. But Modri, I think, doesn't even care so much about that TC for now, because he is himself moving into Miguel's base, and he just needs 1 or 2 trebuchets to do some damage here. Hussar moving in, but it should go down. Yeah, that's just too many elite Rattan archers, and we have the siege rams taking on that TC instantly, like without any trouble. But there is fortified walls coming up, and there is the Halberdiers and elite Rattan archers moving in to first attack the elite skirmishers, I guess, maybe take down the scorpion that there is, and then gonna take care of the siege ram probably. Siege ram turn on the right hand side, 6 siege rams approaching the walls, taking them down, and there's a few hussars waiting, but it's only 4 hussars, and the villagers can take care of the siege rams. Or there's also Halberdier production possible, and there is also getting Halberdiers produced inside Modri's base from the first barracks that he actually placed there. At the same time, Miguel is not really getting raided at home, but there's Halberdiers moving in, and that means he's busy at home as well, while he's trying to attack on 2 flanks, that's only 1 flank. Actually, that Scorpion army is looking quite dangerous. If there were heavy Scorpions, I'd say decent, very nice to see. Like this, Onager is coming in, and Onager is going to counter a lot of these, and the Halberdiers, as long as they can keep the hussars from the Onagers, which is not happening right now. Onager going down fast, but Onagers against these siege units are going to be really strong. And I think Modri is not really in trouble here. He's got enough units to defend. At the same time, he is going with another castle inside Miguel's base this time. Modri with a 1k score lead and military numbers still looking better for him, like up at like 18 to 20 military units. Siege rams though moving forward, and Modri has 1 relic. Didn't even see that one. And he's losing buildings, but the attack is going down. It's just too many helps. The Scorpions alone are not good enough. On the top side, there's a few elite skirmishers trying to be annoying. Modri's trying to re-wall, so a few idle villages on the wood line. A little bit of raiding with the hussars. But the main thing happening in Miguel's base, where that castle is about to get finished, and Miguel doesn't really have a lot of defensive units here. Punisher still doing damage, going down though, and the Halberdiers of course trying to take revenge, to go for the Hussars. Yeah, and that's the trebuchet that Modri needs. Maybe a second and third trap wouldn't hurt to get rid of all these military buildings. Like, that's the main issue. The TCs, I think, not even that important. But okay, we have elite skirmishers still parked here. We have a few Hussars trying to move in, but no more raiding. And there's a few Halberdiers idle, but they might get something to do very soon. At the same time, there's a stable going down here. Is that the mill getting attacked from the Onager? I guess, why not? And Miguel, not really looking good, as he only is on 49 military units. I'm not quite sure where these are. There's a good amount of elite skirmishes here, I guess. And the other skirms just moving back. So it's skirmishes alone for the Khmer against Vietnamese. That's something you don't want to have. I would love to see Modri transitioning into Imperial skirmishes and go for a little bit more siege units instead of Rattan archers. But I guess once you go elite Rattan archers and have 10 PS armor, you want to use them. And to be honest, I would do too. Like, that's so beautiful to see. Modri still with a good enough gold income to support Rattan archers and a few siege units now and then. Of course, Halberdiers still going. And we have Halberdiers chasing now the Scorpions on one side. On the other side, elite skirmishes and 2 siege units, but they're not really doing anything. And Miguel is having a hard time defending at home. He's using more buildings. The monastery with the... There's only 2 relics left, but 2 relics out of the monastery, so Miguel has his gold income cut to half. He doesn't have any gold miners. Has a good amount of food and wood in the bank, even a good amount of gold, but no military units. 48 still, and they're doing more or less nothing. And Modri is saying, hey, I'm an arena clown, I'm going to wall this. You can attack me with the siege rams, but you're not going to get through easily. And Miguel losing too much at home, calling the GG. First game going to Modri in the Rise of the Rajas battle that we've seen before, but I think it went the other way, and this time Vietnamese a little bit better than Khmer. Now, to be honest, I'm surprised and impressed that the second game in a row nobody's going for a scout or spear opening. It's just 3 TCs after Fast Castle, Monastery going up, TC number 4 coming in for Modri. He's playing as the Ethiopians in this game. And Miguel as the Franks didn't go scouts either, so maybe he expected Modri to skip the scouts and said, yep, I can go for the relics like that. Has also the Monastery up. And the initial scouts are still alive, but there's nothing else. It's 1 scout and monks for each player. And both players are trying to grab as many relics as possible. I guess Miguel, is he only getting 1 relic here? Is that actually true? Did Modri somehow... Oh, we grabbed 4 relics. That's a big advantage already. I guess he might have had the map relic advantage, like something like that. Maybe the relics were a bit closer to him. Didn't really pay attention. Both players are booming up. We do see the forward siege workshop coming up, and Miguel, as he has the scout outside, is reacting, going for defensive mangonel, going defensive siege workshop, defensive mangonel as well. And Modri is actually not going for any siege units right now. Instead, clicking up to Imperial Age. Of course, the Ethiopians get the extra food and wood, so they have a really nice boom. Franks too. To be honest, I think the faster barriers is still a thing, and then the free farm upgrades are helping a lot. Modri and Miguel now also going up. Villager numbers looking better for Miguel, so he boomed a little bit better, but Modri is the one going with map control. Forward castle coming up. He's got pikemen on the field, and to be fair, like Modri likely going to open Arbalest. Maybe at least. Is that an outrange? No, he's actually opening. So helps in siege. That's the other option, I guess. Would love to see shuttle warriors. And I think the go-to unit for Franks seems to be Paladin. We have stables coming up. And Modri is going to try and defend against the upcoming Paladin Storm using Halberdiers. And that makes sense. Now, Arbalest would have been a nice early attack for Modri. But I think he might want to go for more siege units. Maybe a siege approach is better here. Really curious to see what's going to happen. Chemistry on the way, so bombard cannons makes sense. I would love to see torsion engines as well. And from that castle, I guess a trebuchet wouldn't hurt so much. Let's find out. There is trebuchet siege workshop coming up. More barracks on the way. We're not going to see Arbalest for Modri anytime soon then. And for Miguel, I'm expecting him to go for either night traction already, which he's doing, or at least the defensive upgrades. And that's also the case. So blacksmith, yeah, he got the double blacksmith. Very nice to see. Going for, was it a +2 already on the defense? Or that one is the +2, I guess. So we have night production going for Miguel. Is going to try and buy some time here. First trebuchet from Modri's out. Going to attack a TC, I imagine. I guess this is not the MTC. Now Miguel has the MTC, his main TC. Okay, that's all right here. It's far enough away so it cannot get attacked here. We have Cavalier instantly, I hope. Where is the Cavalier upgrade for Miguel? Let's find out. It needs to be somewhere back stable. And we have the first bombard cannons on the way for Modri, as well as siege engineers. So he's going for helps and siege. And it's a strong composition for Ethiopians. Let's be honest. If you can't... Ah, my mouse again. Damn it. Come on. If you can pull it off, you're very fine here. The question is, do you go for Onager, for siege ram, for heavy scorpions later on, or is it just going to be bombard cannons and possibly a few trebuchets? Now, Miguel actually needs to engage here before these knights are even upgraded to cavalier, and of course Modri expected this, but now he knows what's happening, and he's going to produce more and more helps to defend against the upcoming cavalry units. Heavy cavalry units, cavalier, soon to be paladin, I imagine, moving outside to maybe try and find an opening, a few villages, but there's really not so much here. A few villages in the middle. There's also a monk, so I expect Modri to go for the conversion here. And do we have the paladin upgrade coming up? Not yet. Miguel actually low on gold here, so it's gonna be cavalier for now, and it's only 31 minutes, so paladin upgrade at 31 minutes, that's quite tough to get. We at least when you go for the relics at the same time and getting attacked or threatened by your opponent. We have 3 bombard cannons with 13 range inside Miguel's base already, and I think Miguel... Ooh, he went in. How? He went through the gate. The halberdier moved out, I guess, and there's the cavalry raiding going. Miguel is finding a lot of more or less defenseless villagers and no military presence in Modri's base. Why would you have military units here? Now Modri is sending the halberdiers back. At the same time, Miguel is now trying to counterattack inside his own base, where Modri is started the attack, and Modri is not going with the castle too far forward, but he's going inside Miguel's base. He's got enough halberdiers to make sure that the bombard cannons and trebuchets are not getting attacked here, and villagers quickly putting down a TC. I guess a few villagers were lost, but not too many of them, and the halberdiers are now here to defend. Looks good for Modri, to be honest. What do you do against the halberdiers when you're only going for a cavalier, and it's not even paladins you're going? I think Miguel is about to lose this game. How do you stop this? You need a lot of... Yeah, I don't need to tell you anything else. Modri winning this game because Miguel calling the GG was too slow. Maybe needed to opt for a counter against the halberdiers first. I don't know. Not quite sure. Ethiopians seem to be a little bit better than Franks here. So Modri actually taking the 2-0 lead, and we're going to see a match game for him. Now this time Miguel is going for the scout play. No surprise, because is it Master Arena 3 already? Mongols for Miguel and Celts for Modri. That could have been easily in AOC and not in Definitive Edition with their 3, 4, 5 expansions. I'm not sure how many we have already. So it looks like Modri should lose all the relics here. He might be able to snipe a monk or two sometimes, but he lost the scout now. And I think he's also skipping the monastery here. There's one villager to build an outpost just in case. And Modri is happily booming for now. He's got the main gold forward, which is not too nice for him. But he's going for TC number 4 already. That's 2 extra TCs, one on wood line, one on wood and stone. And the next TC coming up on the second gold in the back here. Now Miguel could move forward, but I'm not quite sure if he wants to. Mongols usually want to have a very strong economy, and then you want to go for Mangadai, for sure. The question is, the Celts, helps and siege seems to be a decent counter. It may come down to micro or to be honest, to onagers and siege onagers, and we could see this, but I'm not sure what the players are planning for now, and I guess it's just booming at this point of the game. Not so much happening, so we're gonna skip ahead a little bit with the speed we have right now. I have Loom coming up from Modri just in case. How about the resources? Miguel, a lot of gold in the bank, not so much food. As for Modri, pretty much the same. Village numbers 94 against versus 80 at 24 minutes. So Modri, who didn't go for the scouts, of course ahead in the boom. We have a lot of gold for Miguel because he got 5 relics. That's a lot of gold income for him. Could buy his way up if he wanted to, but Modri is up first. Miguel therefore has a castle just outside his base, protecting that second stone and somewhat covering the extra gold in the middle. Double siege workshop for Modri, and of course barracks now coming up. We're going to see the pikeman upgrade for sure. Did he go for pikeman already, or doesn't he have the resources? Castle coming up inside or on Modri's own walls, and a second mining camp on the main gold. I'm expecting, yeah, Spearman production is starting, so the Hellbeast will come up. Mangonels, we're going to see Onager upgrade for Modri very soon. Miguel still on the way up to Imperial Age. Modri probably with the first Trebuchet as well. Siege Workshop coming up outside. Those outposts might be built. I'm not sure which villager is targeted here. And Modri has a lot of food in the bank, but not much gold. As for Miguel, let's find out how's the resources looking. Enough stone for the third castle in a row. Interesting. And he's got those Mangonite with +2. Brace on the way, chemistry on the way, very important. That means Miguel may need to micro for some time here, but if he can keep these 3 castles in a row, he may be in a very good position. Let me actually, no, that's fine for now. Trebuchets coming up, 2 traps against. How about Modri's got 1, another one coming up. He's got the Onagers, and that's where you need to micro as the Mongols. You're facing Onagers from the Celts, and with fewer Celtic are even stronger, so you definitely don't want to lose that group of Mangudai to a big Onager shot. Of course, Pikemen on the field now, and Helps is probably one of the next upgrades that Modri wants to afford. 64 farmers for him already, only 16 on gold, so he's opting for a lot of halberdiers, I guess, and of course for the upgrades on his siege units. And now we have 2 against 2 trebuchets, that siege workshop. Did it go down or was it just not built? 30 that castle on the way, and Miguel this time is repairing the castle, going for lead Mangudai here, and he's got 2 trebuchets against 2. The Mangudai might need to move in and try to do some damage on these traps, and I'm not quite sure if Miguel wants to... Ooh, nice, there's the first shots. Miguel microing, that's what you need here, and Miguel is actually attacking the Onagers now. I like this idea. Now there's too many pikemen, you need to go back here. A lot of villages repairing, and Elite Mangudai upgrade is done, so these have 80 HP, 8+4 attack, missing a few defense upgrades, but that's one of the strongest units in the game still, or at least one of the most effective units, maybe not strongest technically. That castle though is going down, and therefore we have now Modri with only 1 castle against 2, but with the advantage of having taken out one of his opponent's castles already, and Siege Onager upgrade done. So important. Modri still only 10 villagers, 63 on farm, 10 on gold, 10 villagers on gold, but on Siege Onager already done, and that costs like 1450 food, I think, and a lot of gold as well, and helps in siege. Great composition, we've seen it before. Now it looks like Miguel is trying to add in some hussars, and he needs to make sure this castle is not getting lost. But what do you do against the 3 traps? You need your own trebuchets against this actually, or a big group of Mangudai, and there's those siege archers just waiting for the chance to kill these. So Miguel is actually moving the Mangudai a little bit out of the fire range, and he needs to do something. This castle, if it's going down, the last one, is just a matter of time until it's getting killed. And Mongols without castles, usually don't win. It's so tough. Look at this, the siege archers, they don't even have chemistry, I think. They, Modri skipped it. I'm not quite sure if it's better to have it or not, but siege engineer seems to be done. And now Furo Celtica on the way, very important upgrade. Halberdiers and siege archers, what do you do with the Mongols? You might go for your own siege archers, but it doesn't look like Miguel can afford them. He went for the Elite Mangudai, and now Hussars, and now Light Cav on the field. Hussars maybe in the future, Miguel has the resources for them. That's actually a good idea now, use the Mangudai as a decoy, even though he lost quite a few of them. But get the Light Cav close and try to get rid of these siege archers. You definitely need to keep your last castle alive. If that one is going down, you're in big trouble. And it looks like there's 2-3 trebuchets. Once again, the castle under heavy attack. Hoarding stun, or maybe it was the architecture upgrade, something like that. But look at this, only half HP and only a third HP. That's not looking good. Miguel is not repairing. He is not sending the villagers. He's giving up the castle for nothing. Now he's got a few Mangudai left, and he can go for Hussars and siege. And he's going for 1 more castle at home. But this is not looking good, and Modri, in my opinion, played this perfectly. Helps in siege, so strong on arena. Even skipping the relics is something he can afford here, because he will have enough gold income in the early and middle Imperial Age, and even in late Imp, a little bit of siege, you can afford that. Hussar upgrade done, very important to see, 118 HP, which is a lot of tankiness, a lot of HP, but they're dying to the halberdiers fast, and trebuchets and siege archers moving forward. Another castle coming up for Miguel here, but as halberdiers close, and these castles, they won't stand for too long unless Miguel can find a way to really get an army going and defend them. And military numbers, 37 against 17 is not so much at this point, but it's enough for Modri to keep up control, and he's going with a forward castle now. He's going to lose a few villages here, but there's the siege archers coming in once again. Nice split move for Miguel, still a few of these Mangudai going down, And look at this, Modri doesn't even need to micro, he just needs to command the siege archers to attack these. And then there's one shot coming in after the other, and there is more manga dice dying. It's only 3 left, 5-6 villagers still building that castle halfway down up, and there's more siege archers on the way. And that's 10 of them already, that's 10 siege archers, that's a few halberdiers, and Miguel is calling it GG. He knows this is over. Modri, I think, in my opinion at least, played this perfectly. One of the cleanest games I have ever seen, using Kelt's power, using halberdiers, strong for Kelts, and siege. And that's just perfect. Hope you enjoyed this series. Modri making it to the semi-final, arguably the strongest arena clown, maybe not the strongest arena player, because we still have other players in the tournament, of course Viper, who couldn't compete, but definitely the strongest clown in my opinion. Hope you enjoyed these. See you in the semi-finals in the next games. GG.